Everybody notice, start of the race, we're all talking about its FTS. Every segment counts, there are points on every segment. Obviously finish points as well, fastest to the finish, but there are 7 segments through here, and off we go. So I started a little hot, so I backed off. Bill came up next to me. Bill's riding as my teammate. You'll be seeing a whole lot of that green jersey today. Could not have run this race as well as I did without him. But we have Smith coming by, Finch is on the front, and they're going to start pushing the pace. Now we haven't talked about Brian. Brian's running DS for us. He did race 1 in this weekend. So he's got all the numbers through the segments, but he's looking at all the information on the people we've got on the road through Zwift Power. And Smith can sprint. He certainly has that power to be able to burst through those segments. So we cannot let him go, because if we let him go and give him a chance to rest between sprints, he is just going to dominate this race, especially with the bonus points on the finish. So we have to hang with them. But here we are, we're pushing 2 minutes into the race. We've already got 8 seconds between the 4 of us and the peloton, so we are definitely the breakaway group on this. And we don't know what they're going to do. Are they really going to push this pace this hard? I mean, we're pushing close to 3, and 3 watts per kilogram is higher than most D category 20-minute times, and we are Cat D. So are they going to push straight through, or are they going to actually push this pace and sprint through the segments? So we've got to stay on their tail until we get through this first segment at 4 kilometers. I'll speed things up a little bit and get us there quicker. As this race progresses, we'll talk a little bit about sprint technique. But right now, it all comes down to finding out what is going to happen at the beginning of this sprint. The sprint starts at 4 kilometers, and where I'm at right now, I'm quite happy. Obviously riding 4th heading into the sprint segment, but then we've got a little bit of a break on the front with Finch taking off. But Bill and I discussed that, and we didn't see any reason to chase him. It all comes down to what they're going to be doing here in just a second. So as we make this left-hand turn, we set up for the first sprint. And I'm happy where I'm at. I love to be tail gunning this whole thing. You can see on the right where it starts. I'm trying to pick it up a bit, and we're going to explode through here. Fine, we pass Smith. There's Bill making quite the attack on this. There we go past Finch, and the data starts coming in. We got Bill coming in first with 17:50 for me, and now it's just recover as we go around and get ready for the next one. Now, the most important thing we learned, they aren't sprinting. I mean, Smith came in at a pretty decent place, but he did not attack. As you saw, he stayed seated the whole time. That tells us everything we need to know. But look quick, there's Lee on the right, red numbers. Lee sprinted through that segment. He hit 13 watts per kilogram, held it around 11. So while Finch and Smith are not attacking, which tells us it's okay, we do now have to start watching for Lee, because he ended up winning that segment, and we can't let him keep doing that. Even if he's back there, he could, who knows what could happen in a race. We can't give him that many points. So we let Finch and Smith take off, because if they aren't going to sprint, we don't need to stay with them. We're going to conserve energy. We've got 48 seconds from the peloton behind, so let's rest up and we'll start hitting the sprint points. Next sprint is the same segment at 9.1 watts per kilogram. We are quite happy here to just rest up. You notice, as I said, you're going to see a lot of green. Bill's taking the front. He's just giving me a bunch of rest. Bill's a diesel. He just can go steady all day long. And I need the rest back here. He's going to attack every sprint too. I mean, he's not laying down for this, but he's doing a great job with the lead outs, as we'll see. So now Lee took first place on that sprint. We cannot let Lee take first place on this next one. 17 seconds is what we did, so we're going to see if we can do something a little bit better this time. So on the road right now, we got Lee in first, Bill in second, I'm in third, coming in on the second sprint. This is the only time those numbers on the left are going to make sense for us, because it's going to get all messed up now. It just goes fastest all the time. So there's a lead out. Probably came into that a little bit slow, so we're attacking a little bit harder. We're not doing an all-out effort yet. We're just trying to see where things go. And we did okay. In the end, Lee actually came in first again. I came in second. Bill came in third. So we're holding those top spots. But we can tell now that by Lee's big numbers that he's not setting himself up well for the sprint. He's accelerating inside the sprint zone, and he should be hammering with numbers like that. So we're going to set ourselves up a little bit better on this next sprint zone. What we want to do is accelerate as we make that left-hand turn and go into the zone with a higher velocity than we've been going. If we're trying to at least get 45 kph on this, and see what the kind of numbers that gets us, because right now we're going to have to go sub 16, because we've got to start taking that first spot away from Lee. We don't want to give him any advantage on that. Plus, we've got to worry about the points that are between us and Smith and Finch. Now, here's something special. This doesn't always work out this beautifully, but the seas caught us. as we are going into the next sprint zone. We're only about 300, 400 out now, so we wanted to accelerate going into it, so we latch onto this next group here as we go around this turn, and we let them carry us through, so we have a lot of momentum heading into the sprint zone. Let's see if I can get our kilometers on here as we go by the green. We wanted 45, we got 46, and then we got the sprint. Now look, ATP led me out. So a lot of props out to ATP for doing that, and I hit a 15:63. I wanted 16s, so quite happy to end up there. Bill came in second there, which was great, and then Lee never showed up for the next segment. I do not know what happened, so we lost him in the race, which puts Bill and I now in 1 and 2 through these sprints because no one else seemed to be really competing for him, so that would make this race a whole lot easier for us. And this is kind of the problem now with what we're facing with all these Herd Summer Racing League opportunities to race. Here's Bill catching back up and taking the lead as we go around so I can rest. There are lots, your best race matters, but the most competitive races in this league are race 1 and race 2 on Friday nights. And really, if you're going to compete from GC, you got to be racing against the best guys. This was a small field and not very competitive. So at this point, Bill and I knew we could just chill out. We slowed down to about 2 watts per kilogram, plenty of rest in between these sprint points. We were just holding a minute, staying a minute ahead of the folks behind us, not worried about the folks ahead since they're not sprinting and not getting points. So that's not something I want to be doing all the time. If we're going to win, I want to win against the competition and not just on these side races. But here we come up against the next sprint. We have Brian DS, and at this point with lead out, we're thinking we just need 16 seconds on this one to make sure we keep that lead. So really it's just Bill and I goofing off, trying to get a 16 at this point, so I took off. And it wasn't a bad segment there. I did not catch where we came in at, but we actually ended up with a 1-2 at that point. So we're going to settle back into our routine. Bill's going to catch up, and then we're going to do a nice easy lap, and then we're going to have a nice hard sprint. We just again need 16, so we're not too worried about it. And then all of a sudden, disaster strikes. Everything seems to be going very well. We're just taking it nice and easy, and I come up with the dreaded message that I've lost connection. I have to jump off the bike, get over to my PC, re-click the pair button, which, come on, seems to be taking forever. And we know that the peloton's a minute behind us, so we have a little bit of time to make this thing work. And we've got to get this connection going. And it comes in, but no signal on my heart rate. I wait until I feel like I can't wait anymore. And hopefully this heart rate's going to pick back up when I'm on the road. Bill up ahead has stopped. He's waiting for me. We need to get this thing going because these fin points matter. We are not satisfied with where we are point-wise. So jump back on the bike as fast as I can and try to get caught back up to everybody. At least we've got some pairing going. There goes the heart rate. It clicked back on, and a little bit of catch up, but not bad. We're 108 ahead, 108 seconds. Now we're 53 seconds, so there's plenty of room between us and whoever's behind us. We just need to get joined back together and get this thing rolling. Now my heart rate monitor's kept acting up. Now from here on out, it'll connect sometimes and it's going to disconnect, but it stayed connected long enough that I think we're okay. And here I'm catching up to Bill, who waited for me. As I said, he's leading me back around now. We're going to do our standard thing and get ready for the sprint. So talking about sprints, we want to maximize our entrance velocity. So this time around, we're still looking at 16s. There's really no pressure on us. We're leading on the points on the road right now. Looks like by the math, we're going to be able to win, even finishing 3rd, 4th. So we want to maintain those 16s. And we're going to be coming around these sprint points. I'm going to leave it full speed, trying to accelerate here, steady acceleration, and going through it more like a 6 watts per kilogram instead of accelerating to rapid, crazy numbers in the middle. So nice steady 400 meters instead of a crazy 200 is giving us some pretty good timings, and we're finishing in the 16s right now. So we are now finishing up the segments that we've got to do around here, and we're going to go see a brand new segment, which is just 280 meters long as we're heading off to the finish. So we've got the Broad Street Sprint coming up, and everybody's looking tired the way they're sprinting, so we're not too worried. We're going to hit this as hard as we can, but we're not going to be too worried about it. And again, Bill just did a great lead out coming through this flat here. The only thing I don't like as we're heading down this side roads here is the little incline that we're going to run into when we're down. Is it by the river? Sure feels like it's by the river. So, but we're resting up because we know that we've got a little bit of a climb to go, and I know Bill's not going to give me the climb, so I need to have some legs. He might be leading me out here, and that's helping me rest, but he is not going to hand anything to me. If he can beat me on the climb, he'll beat me on the climb. And that's good competition for you. So we might be teammates, but we're going to push each other just as hard as we can push. So this climb for me is usually pretty enjoyable. My PR is 3:10. So let's see how things go here. I'm trying to find the start point, but Bill and Brian were kind enough to point out to me that it was here. And man, this climb was hard. I could not believe how hard it was. I'm ahead at the moment, but it was right about here when I realized I'm in the big ring, and I really don't want to be in the big ring for this climb. So we make some adjustments, and things begin to feel a little bit better. There's still a long way to go. As you know, on these right-hand turns, it gets really steep, and we're trying to just keep the power up. We got Bill 25 meters back. He's closing it again, 20 meters. He's closing it up on the steep points, and I'm pulling away when we get to the flatter points. So here's this another steep section coming into it. I know Bill's 30 back, so I'm in good shape, aren't I? Yeah, there's the finish line. I can't wait to get to it. And all of a sudden, Bill's 14, and then he gets down to 7 meters. So he made me have to really push there at the end. But Bill, great job. Thanks for being there for it. Brian, really appreciate the data you're feeding in my ear the whole time. That really makes a good race for me, knowing what's going on. So final results are Bill came in second. I managed to come in first. So we're pretty pleased with that after working together so long. So hopefully everybody will show up for Muckle Yin next week, and we can start banging heads together, hopefully on the Friday night races, the ones that are really the competitive ones. See you guys next week.